my channel, Andrea's Diaries. If you haven't seen my previous videos, just go and check them out. This is the third one in the series where I talk about my fertility issues. So today I wanted to talk to you about knowing what the issue is and that we got the funding and we are ready to start IVF to egg retrieval. I think it's important for all of you to know that things don't happen as quickly as maybe you would be thinking. Well, it's definitely something that I thought previously to actually experiencing it. So where we left the story in the last episode was that, we got the funding sorted. It was in 2021 August and we are ready to start. And I wanted to talk to you about our first appointment with the doctor. So all the way up to this point, we have not spoken to a doctor yet, and we are finally being told that we are scheduled in for appointment with the doctor. Now, due to COVID, this was a phone. We had the conversation with the doctor and she focused a lot, if I'm honest, on the point of when funding stops. I really hope that we could do it face-to-face. It's just I would have felt at more ease to ask questions and just to understand the whole process. So there are certain criteria that if those happen, like there's no ovulation or there's no egg retrieval or the embryos don't survive, there are lots of points where basically the process stops and the only way to continue would be to be paying for it. Anyways, the appointment went well. She talked about the treatment protocol. So it's basically the plan of what I will need to do prior to egg retrieval. And I was going to take you through a couple of things before that. The clinic I am with is called Care Clinic, and they have an online portal and you can find all your stuff like your previous appointments and so on. I was going to take you through the timeline. I had my first consultation on the 22nd of September, so that was with the doctor, where we talked about the protocol. Then on the 23rd of September, so a day later, they sent me a letter of what we discussed. Then on the 4th of October, there was a nurse appointment about the injection teaching. Now, again, you would think injection teaching should be in person. No, it was a telephone conversation again, just talking really about what's in the protocol already. So I was a bit disappointed, and I have to say I had to revert to YouTube to look at how to inject myself or how the injections are happening. And there are some really good videos out there. I'll link it into this video so you can watch it for yourself. Then I had another blood test on the 4th, so same day as the injection teaching, which is why I thought it's going to be in person. So I think most of you will know that IVF comes with injections, but there are a couple of things that you may not be aware of, which is also includes some sort of pills. So the first pill I was prescribed was one called metformin, which I believe regulates the sugar in the blood. Now, I was supposed to take this a month prior to starting the treatment. So in September, when I was super buzzing and happy that I'm finally starting the injections, I'm being told, well, actually you have to take this pill for a month and then we can start injections. I was extremely disappointed because, as you can imagine, I already sort of planned out, okay, if I do the injections here, this is where I'm going to have the egg retrieval, this is where I'm going to have the embryo transfer, and hopefully this is when I'm going to fall pregnant. And another month into that, it really stressed me out, especially that meant it will take me closer to Christmas period, which the clinic has informed me that they are shutting down. Nonetheless, started the pills. If you are having it prescribed as well, be mindful. The first couple of weeks I did not feel myself at all. Really brings your sugar levels down. You feel nauseous and just sick and weak, and you want to eat more, and just it really wasn't pleasant. However, moving to injections, so the actual injections I was extremely scared from. However, it was easy. It was so easy and so painless that I cannot tell you enough. please do not be scared of it. Even if you're scared of needles. I'm not scared of needles myself, but you can barely even feel it. Like you can just feel the touch of the needle. You really can't feel any pain. The needle is so small and short as well, so obviously if you're scared of needles, just get someone to do it for you, but otherwise it's fairly easy. I did most of the injections myself and I prefer that way. I knew my husband is going to be scared of hurting me and he's probably going to mess it up, so I wanted to make sure that I put it in properly, quickly, get it done, get over with. And I ended up doing the injections in the car, in the lay-by, or at work sometimes. So obviously you need to be mindful to make sure you sterilize and all that. But I had to do it at the exact time, and depending on where I was on that exact time, I was doing the injection. So to take you through my own protocols, this was dependent to my circumstances, yours may be very different. However, I have to say they've done this protocol quite quickly before we even had the consultation with the doctor. So I think if you have the PCOS, what I have, you may end up with a very similar protocol. As I said, I started with the metformin once a day for 3 days. You always have to have it with food. And then I went for twice a day. This would have continued all the way through the treatment to 12 weeks of pregnancy. Then on day 1 of the flow period, I had to phone the clinic and tell them that, I'm menstruating. On the second day, I started my stimulation drugs. So that was my first injection. I had to do that until day 5, which basically is day 6 of the cycle. So it's a bit confusing, so just make sure, if you can, create yourself a little planner, potentially without dates and days initially, because things may change. So just make sure you have a blank one. You put down on which day what you have to do, which pills, which injection, and what time. And then when your flow actually starts, you can plug in the dates and days for a section of your treatment. So on day 5 of stimulation drugs, I had to start the Cetrotide, and that one had to be continued until the HCG administration, which was basically the trigger for my egg retrieval. Day 6, I had the first scan and everything went okay, so they could see that my follicles are starting to develop. Then every 2 days after, I would have a scan. On one of the last scans, they actually told me off because they did ask me how much I'm drinking, and as in water, and I wasn't drinking much, and that actually probably caused my follicles to not be shredding as quickly as they should have, which ended up with me being a little bit overstimulated, which is not ideal. So again, something they don't really tell you is drink water. 3 liters, I mean, it is a lot. Just make sure you have either 3 bottles of 1 liter bottles, or just make sure you fill it up 3 times and you drink it. It's so important. It's important anyway, all the way through the pregnancy as well, but if you can, at least in that period, just make sure you drink. It's something they will not tell you, which is why I'm telling you now. And then on the last scan, it was on a Friday, and they could see I had 108 follicles. I mean, it is a lot. But they were around 60, which looked good, good size, and very likely to have had an egg in it. then I got a call that I'm gonna have my egg retrieval on Monday. They tell you exactly when to give you your HCG injection. It's very specific. It has to be 36 hours prior to egg recovery. Mine was a buserelin injection. And that was it really. So it was day of egg retrieval. I was extremely happy, extremely nervous though, because they do tell you that they will do conscious anesthesia, I think it's called. So I was scared that I will know what they are doing down there, and I will, wake up, have nightmares or something. However, it was nothing like that. I went in, I had a couple of doctors to see me. It took about half an hour. They took me into the theater. They gave me a mask, and then they said you need to breathe in like big breaths. I think I remember 2 of my breaths, and that was it. I was completely out. So there's nothing really to be scared of. You will not feel anything, you will not see anything, you will not sort of hear anything, and it's really straightforward. And half an hour later, I believe, I woke up, and I remember waking up, tears in my eyes of happiness, because obviously I did not know what to expect. I was so scared before the actual surgery, and now waking up, not feeling anything, just feeling really okay actually. And I was so surprised. I didn't feel any pain, just nothing. I was just so happy and literally crying. I was a bit scared to get up from the bed. However, just gently I did it, and I managed to walk myself out to the car, and my husband took me home. Let me talk to you a little bit about the recovery. So altogether I was in the clinic for maximum 2 hours. I took that week off work. Coming home, it was fine. I think the painkillers were still doing its job. But at the end of the day, when all the painkillers have gone and I was still taking paracetamol, it was painful. Not gonna lie. For 2 days it was extremely painful, and I'm so grateful that I had my husband who was cooking for me nice and light things, and just literally did everything for me, even helping me to go to the bathroom. We knew that I'm not gonna do the embryo transfer at that point because of this risk of overstimulation, which for the most patients with PCOS, it's a big risk. So they retrieved 56 eggs, which is a lot. Average, I think they do about 10, 20 maximum. 56 eggs, that's like 3 times more than that. So it's the reason probably that I also felt rough. However, on the other side, I was happy with the number, because the bigger the number, the more the chances. So on day 2 they called us and they told us 19 fertilized, which I was extremely happy with. And then they said we will have to wait now till Saturday, 5 days, to see how many go to the blastocyte stage. Basically the embryo sort of splits in multiple little cells, I believe is what it is. I was anxiously waiting for the call on Saturday morning. They told us 6 managed to go through all the stages. They were all good and they were all in the right condition to be frozen. I was extremely happy with that. The numbers were good. I did recover by Saturday. So about 6 days to actually recover from it. I drank lots and lots of water, and please, if you take anything away from this video, is make sure you drink water. Yeah, so overall we were in a happy place. I was actually really happy that I didn't have the embryo transfer at that time, just because of how roughly I was feeling. And actually I didn't know that I could have chosen not to have it anyway. So it's probably something you should check with your doctor if you haven't already, on what is the better option. But each to their own. I mean, I was so impatient. I am so impatient. I can't wait to have a baby. I can't wait to fall pregnant. So, waiting for another couple of months or whatever you decide, it's not a nice feeling either. So you just need to balance out what works for you, what works for your partner, and take it from there. So if you are interested to find out more about our fertility journey, make sure you subscribe, and obviously if you did enjoy this video and it was helpful, like it. If you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the comment box and I'll make sure I answer to each and one of you. I hope this video has helped you. If I helped even one of you, that's already a success for me. Thank you very much for watching and see you later. Bye bye.